time we all are doing this. So
Yeah,
it's
it's the
like,
first time. I
and
don't
it's
know.
live,
I
and
hope
it's
it is
live.
live. Can
Yeah, it
people
is.
hear me? You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, yeah, we
I
can hear
can,
Okay,
you.
yeah.
because last time we tried it on Instagram live and it absolutely messed up. And only Amartya, or even
That's
Amartya
because
couldn't hear me,
yeah,
which is,
that's because you
yeah,
live in a country which is just
mm,
whatever. Uh,
yeah, they don't allow
I
allow
can't
Give
open
this
my
boy
WhatsApp
mouth.
or
anything. If he give him like a rupee for every time he slanders some.
I can't openly mock a country on YouTube. Come on, dude.
no, you can. You
You
just make sure you
almost
mock it in a
are.
way which is
You
as quiet
that
as
that
William
country is not
Friedkin.
Make it a
that country is not
satire.
American. That country is not
Make it
America.
a
You
make it a
realize?
satire for all I care.
You definitely
So
don't care.
we have two messages already from two of our guests. So Varun is introducing the podcast. I'm
Yes,
saying
Varun is
the live
introducing the
stream for
podcast
us,
only.
and of course,
Of
Pixel
course,
Baba is
Sanjeev. Of course.
is Sanjeet. So yes, I think so. This is essentially we are doing a show for our members. Like they are just
More or
Yeah.
less.
seeing us
More or
talk.
less. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fine, okay. I
This
mean,
is
they could have
this is
just
my
joined the
private passion
conversation.
project. This is a private
Perfect.
passion project.
I mean, that's what we are going for, aren't we? But
Yeah.
anyways, today our topic of discussion is something Amartya and me had sort of decided to separate when we decided to do a podcast on William Friedkin,
Hmm.
who's passed away recently. We talked
Rest
about
in
his
peace.
yes, and we talked about five of his films at that time. So if you want to go to listen to our thoughts about The French Connection, To Live and Die in LA, Bug,
Sorcerer,
Sorcerer, and Killer Joe. We've
Killer
done
Joe.
all that in the podcast, and The Exorcist we wanted to preserve or reserve for this sort of Halloween month, essentially, because I think
Yeah.
it's
It deserves
special, I
it.
guess. Yeah, I think it's one of it's not even from like a personal point of view. I think it's very much a canonical piece in terms of just film history in general. I feel like it's not even like limited to horror genre. It's like just a big film in terms of what it meant then what it means now, we can see what it means now, essentially, considering the reception we've seen to Exorcist Believer, the David Gordon Green, that's his name, right? David Gordon Green.
Yes, even though we
Yes.
want to forget, but yeah.
I mean, okay. I mean, the film itself, I have not seen neither, and neither have Ahendrila and Amartya seen, who are regular guests for whoever new is joining. But since I can see who is here, I know no one new is joining. So, but anyways, Ahendrila is a writer. Just to introduce for High on Films and other publications, and similar with Amartya, please look at three people have joined. Please look at.
Fantastic.
The
Three people have time to
you,
listen. That's good.
you didn't have to. You visually you can't do what you can't do verbally, Amartya. You just put up two middle fingers, which is I'm like, okay, I can't. I don't know how to like censor that.
You
uh,
can't censor anything here. It's fine. You can just cut it out.
Varun is the Exorcist non-believer from before only here. So
Just baiting me of all people. You realize you
as
don't
in
have to bait me, right?
he said this, so I think it's probably about
Yeah,
the requel being great.
yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
point being, we can go. Our decision was to discuss the original only, and none of the sort of none of the sequels have been good, have they? Except for Exorcist Three,
Has it?
which
Yeah, I have
Mahendra, have
also.
you seen any of the sequels, or is it mostly just you've seen the first one and been a great fan of it?
I have never actually watched any of the sequels. I've just watched The Exorcist on multiple occasions and been scared.
Mhm.
That's
Got
it.
it. I think
So
three is the
I
only one
haven't
which
really
has a good
watched
He
the
is the
others.
only
reputation.
one which is apparently quite decent, and I don't know if Uncle Paul's version is
Wow,
watchable.
timing.
Wow, timing.
Yes, yes. Paul Schrader is the director of First
I'm certainly
Reformed
here
and
to
Taxi
collect horror
Driver
movie
and everything. So
recommendations for a month.
I think Amartya will blast
Do
on about them very soon because we have like a couple of other episodes also planned on J horror and everything. So there's like just a lot of stuff.
by
Anyways,
couple of episodes he means a shit ton. But okay.
yeah, that's true. Anyways, going back to The Exorcist, which I think before we start even talking about it, I'll ask you guys what was your introduction to it, and just to if for whoever's not aware of The Exorcist, which I don't think there are many people who aren't. I think even casual moviegoers are sort of, aware of what The Exorcist is. It's directed by William Friedkin, written by William Peter Blatty, who adapted it from a novel written by himself, essentially. And I think it was based on a true incident he had read in a newspaper about an exorcism that happened, but sort of,
which
um,
was apparently also debunked later.
huh,
So,
but like, but yeah, I don't know what Varun is commenting, but I will get to it later. Anyways, uh, but no, I think let's get to the introductions first, because I think a lot of the perceptions of The Exorcist for us who weren't sort of alive when the film actually released is kind of different. Like I've heard people very much knock back against it for being church propaganda
mm,
and silly, which is something I don't know what to think about. I mean, I disagree with that vehemently, because considering I actually think this is a very serious film more than anything else. But yeah, let's get with introductions. Andrea, you can tell us when you first got introduced to it, what was your impression, and why you've kept on sort of coming back to it.
Right. So The Exorcist is a movie I do not remember when I first watched. Like,
Hmm.
it's a movie that I watched probably when I was very young. It was
Hmm.
like somewhere on the television. I remember watching it and being very scared. It's only quite later during my
Hmm.
college days that I think I went back and watched it again. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh, like, okay, this certainly has something in it. And then I
Hmm.
ended up watching the movie once last year, and then
Okay.
then it made a lot more sense to me because
Hmm.
we were just post the pandemic.
Yeah.
And uh and after that I watched it earlier this year, and because of
Hmm.
this whole recording, so it's just that well, the movie just has a strange appeal to me. I
Yeah.
kind of, every time, no matter how many times I watch it, I can never predict the jump scares. No matter how
Hmm.
many times I watch it, I am always feeling that sense of like dread when the head rotates. It's
Hmm.
something that has been like the, you say anything about a horror movie and that's the first image that pops up
Yeah.
in my head, that the head
Hmm.
just rotates. So
Hmm.
that's been like the creepy image that has been stuck in my head for years now.
Yeah.
So The Exorcist has always been for me like the introduction to horrors. It's
Hmm.
also only later, with growing age and with a lot of movie watching,
Yeah.
and then eventually falling in love with the horror movie genre itself, that I have
Hmm.
gotten to understand that the movie is quite a genius for what it
Hmm.
did, uh,
Yeah.
when it did back in the early 1970s.
73, I think
And
it was the, yeah. Hmm.
73.
yeah, like 1973. Yeah, so it's still early 1970s.
Hmm.
So that, and I have come to read and learn so much about the feminist critique of the film now,
Hmm.
which is well, fantastic. So
Hmm.
now you can always critique the movie on the basis of its
Amartya,
from a
your
feminist
reactions
angle.
can be seen. So this is
I
not the
know. I
podcast
want them to
version.
be seen. I want them to be seen. I really do want them to be
No,
seen.
but
Okay.
but
Yeah.
but it was a fascinating critique that I read, and I'm definitely certainly going to bring it up
Yeah.
sometime
Of
later
course
during
you
the
are.
course of this
Of
recording.
course
No,
you are.
absolutely. Please do bring it up. I mean, I would like to hear it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can sort of, gauge an idea of where it kind of
Yeah,
places
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
itself also. So
yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
But yes, I will. Before Amartya does his intro, Sanjeet is being funny. So I will have to
Oh
showcase
God.
that. So
Vikram Bhatt.
1920 is
Vikram Bhatt.
yeah. Vikram Bhatt is the OP, whatever.
OP,
OP or
OP.
OG? Okay,
OP, OP, OP.
whatever.
My intro to Indian horror was actually Kal. No, Makri,
Oh wow.
Makri,
which
Makri.
was
Makri is a good
scary.
intro.
M-
Kal is
Makri is
Kal
a,
is,
yeah,
Kal
Makri was
is.
come on. I only remember Kal and Krishna Cottage and Makri. Like those are the movies that I remember from back
Those
in the
are
day.
good songs. Those are good songs. I
in
remember.
In Kal. Acha, हाँ,
There's a
Kal has
reason why
good
I
songs.
remember them.
Yes, those are good songs.
Even Krishna Cottage was a good song. Come on
Yes,
now.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
No, no, I
Okay.
agree.
We are very far from The Exorcist, by the way.
I'm being,
Yes.
yes, we know, Sanjeev. We
Yeah.
know you are being serious.
And Makdi
Work.
represent is Varun, who doesn't like any horror film. So I don't know how much weight I'm gonna put to Varun's judgment on horror, considering how he hates Exorcist and The
He
Shining the
exhausted.
most.
Shining ka hate I still get. Exorcist I don't know why. But
Yeah.
okay, okay.
And he also doesn't like Don't Look Now, which whatever. Varun, we will get you for a contrarian episode
Hmm.
sometime. But yes, and last word I will give to Pixel Baba before we go to Amartya, which is this has to be mentioned, right?
RGB. Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
संजीव भाई
RGB
RGB
needs
तो
a
होना ही चाहिए.
mention. So
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah. Of course, of course.
yes.
Queen is
Oh,
Dead का
he
unofficial
made
mascot.
Corn, right?
Yeah, he made
Corn
God.
with I think I remember Corn being really freaked out by that more than any film
Hmm.
from Hindi
Yeah.
cinema. Anyways, Amartya, go ahead before I before basically Pixel Baba and Varun break my
Hijack
mind.
hijack
Take
the
over.
Yeah,
entire conversation. Yeah.
yeah,
No, but
please.
I think we all heard a rumor that The Exorcist was such a scary movie that the director actually suffered a stroke or something. Once upon a time, when these type of rumors used to occur and people used to
As
scare
in
us.
Friedkin had a
No, I
stroke.
think something or the other. There was a
Okay.
rumor that one executive of the director actually saw the movie for the first time and had a stroke because apparently it was so scary.
Hmm.
So this is like already hyping up a movie before you have even understood what a movie is.
Hmm.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So finally, when I watched The Exorcist on, I think 2018,
Hmm.
obviously you were seeing it through the eyes of a person who has seen shitty horror movies, who has seen good horror movies, who has seen bad CGI laden
Yeah.
horror movies, all sorts of horror movies.
Yeah.
But when I saw The Exorcist, I was already jaded because I was like
Hmm.
73 horror movie. How much could it max to max scare me? Because
Yeah.
even The Shining didn't scare me.
This is
Yeah,
the
I watched.
Kubrick. Yes.
Yes, yes. I watched the Exorcist, and I don't remember feeling scared.
Hmm.
But I did remember feeling very uneasy because I think that's the prevalent feeling you get throughout. Even
Hmm.
even and the most important fact was that even when the horror moments were occurring, I don't
Yeah.
think the CGI or the dated effects was ever the thing because makeup and all of that, those are like pretty
Hmm.
great work. I think what
Yeah.
actually affected me more was all that is happening. The reality of The Exorcist is extremely grounded, almost
Hmm.
too grounded. It's like Friedkin stubbornly trying to ground that movie.
Yeah.
Like, this is your world and the supernatural thing is occurring.
Hmm. Like the real
And
world and it's occurring
yeah,
real,
this
right?
is the
So.
real world. And
Hmm.
I think that affected me more than anything else because in the real world, people have their own opinions, people have their own issues.
Hmm.
And like, I think you said it right that there are criticisms of the movie being church propaganda and all that.
Yeah.
I think propaganda, I think more than propaganda, it was an affirmation because I remember The
Hmm.
Exorcist actually, enticing people to actually uh,
Yeah.
join in the church and all that stuff. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay,
Hmm.
unless you actually have so much of a belief in a faith, you know,
Hmm.
you wouldn't you wouldn't have such a positive affirmation towards an institution like it does in The Exorcist.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I think
And
there's a line in the film also which says that. I mean, at least the
yeah,
scientists try and sort of, spin it that way, where it's like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
it's, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
and it's like this time I realized that the degree of horror one must feel for this movie, horror quote unquote,
Hmm.
yeah, the degree of horror one must feel for this movie is also directly proportional to how much of a belief they have towards that religion
Do you
or
think
towards
so?
any sort of religion. Yes,
Okay.
I
Okay.
truly think so.
Hmm.
I truly think so.
Interesting.
I think that if somebody is ambivalent or if somebody just accepts to a certain degree that there is a higher power, I think they
Hmm.
might be able to appreciate the movie up to a certain extent, or they might like the
Hmm.
movie up to a certain extent. Like most normal people, most of us, more or
Hmm.
less. But if people actually believe that the church, believe in the doctrines of the church or anything,
Amartya, your fan is very big fan,
of
I
course
think.
you are here
Yes.
anyway. So
Uh,
when when something like this happens, that a church or something comes into your focus and becomes part of your world, like Christianity, belief in Christianity is sort of like believing in their own norms and everything. For
Hmm.
them, I think The Exorcist is actually very, very effective
For people who
because
believe in Christianity,
yes,
especially, you
yes,
mean, right?
yes, I think that movie is very, very effective
Hmm.
because I think
I
Pazuzu
think
or
William Peter
the
Blatty is
yes,
a devout Catholic,
yes, I
from
think he's a
whatever I know,
Catholic.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for them, Pazuzu or the quote unquote
Not named in this
darkness,
film, by the way.
it he is.
In this, Pazuzu is
Yeah.
not named, is it?
No, no, he is. He is. He is. He's not.
I didn't hear his name at all in this film. I
I
don't know. Maybe I
think
was
he is named in this film. Yeah.
okay.
Anyway, so what
Conflicting points of view there, I
conflicting point of
suppose.
view then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what else is new? So, but
And
I
I'm
think
not the person who's contradicting him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we all
congratulations. We
find
will
ways
wait
to
2 more seconds.
contradict them.
We will wait 2 more seconds for that. Wait, hold on. Don't worry. That's coming too. So, but I think the definition of the supernatural possession here is the closest thing they saw the devil being introduced as something unrecognizable or unquantifiable.
Hmm.
And I think
Yeah.
that was the genius of Friedkin, more or less. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I mean, I think whatever you guys have said, sort of. I think my thing with The Exorcist is basically I sort of got to know about it so much from Mark Kermode, who's the biggest fan of the film. I sort of, he's a film critic he's a British film critic. He does YouTube and he writes also. But I heard so much about The Exorcist and why it's scary, why it's great about it from him, that I was like, there's no way the film will ever live up to that standard when I watch it, because he watched it in a context of 1970s. I'm watching it sort of, now, and I've heard so much about it. How can it ever live up to that expectation? But I think one big thing with The Exorcist is that the publicity of that film sort of, always skewed towards emphasizing a lot of the things that actually the film is barely about. Like I think Hendrila said about the head spinning, right? That
yes,
happens twice in the film, very briefly. It's then there's the
the green vomit,
spider
the
green vomit. I think is still a little distracting, and it happens 2 3
yes,
times
yes.
in this.
The spider legs is only there in the
The sp-
extended edition. It wasn't even there in the
Also, the whole
theatrical cut.
thing about the oh, sorry for interrupting. It's
yes, yes,
also
go
the
ahead.
whole thing about
You
the
are?
um
Go
yeah,
ahead,
like
Ahendrila.
genuine.
Yes, yes, yes.
But it's also about the whole like trying to masturbate with the cross,
Yes,
with the crucifix
yes,
is
yes.
also yeah, is also a scene that's like that's the highlight of the movie.
That's the
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of,
yeah.
I think some of the I had to do like a project on the reception of The Exorcist when it
Okay.
released. So uh, yes, a bunch before I say anything, because you have one more fan club member here. So yes,
People
Amartya.
really want me to lose my shit today. Anyway,
Not, but
you
not today is not the day for that. We had Janeja, that which unfortunately didn't get a live stream.
if that was a live
Anyways,
stream now, that would have been fun.
yes, but anyways, I was saying that yeah. So when I was doing the sort of research on this reception of it, I think what you guys are saying about these sequences, some critics at that time like really took against these sequences in the sense that they thought this sort of thing defined the whole film. So like they were like, the film is structured around these shock tactics essentially,
W-
and which I
Remind me again,
disagree with. Uh,
what was the name of that movie that came out last year by Verhoeven? Uh, what was the name of
Benedetta,
it? Yeah, Vendetta. Yeah.
yeah.
Remember Vendetta also had kind of a scene like this. Not exactly what was shown in The Exorcist,
Yeah,
but
it was
kind of.
just being used as a dildo.
Hmm.
Yes, thank you. So
Yeah.
even then, I think that was like Verhoeven trying to be provocative, right? But I think it's also because, well, Ankush is right. Anyway, let's continue. So
Yes.
the point
Yeah.
being that all of these are provocation, and knowing Friedkin, of course, is going to provoke it. At this point, people shouldn't be surprised. But
Mhm. Yeah,
you
Indra, you were
continue.
saying?
You were going to say
Mhm.
something.
Yes, no, what I was trying to say is that what is very easy for us to do is
Mhm.
to like forget the context in which Friedkin made Exorcist to begin with.
Mhm. Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So, from what I was reading up about the
Mm-hmm.
movie, I went through a couple of papers to also
Mm-hmm.
understand that the tagline that it has, that it's a movie that's placed between science and superstition.
Yeah.
What they were actually trying to do is captivate the mentality of the changing, like captivate the changing mentality of the American middle class,
Mm-hmm.
which was now directed, like there were a lot of scientific things that were happening. There were a lot of
Yeah.
new uh, like new innovations in
Mm-hmm.
science and medical technology and everything, which the
Mm-hmm.
movie actively displays. And
Yeah.
what Amoto was telling is actually true. Like there are not rumors, there are full-fledged like proofs of how the audience is vomited in the theater.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And people have reported that they have they had to like tread through vomit to clean a theater and stuff like that. All of these
Mm-hmm.
things, these are actually true. But then Friedkin and also was also ended up saying that apparently these are all during scenes where the medical stuff is shown, like where Regan,
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah,
that's
this I understand.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Reagan, yeah.
So Reagan is actually shown to go through all the medical procedure,
Yeah.
so that like that is the part that is more controversial for the American audience in that uh,
Yeah.
like point of time,
Yeah.
because this is an America that we are looking at, which is post the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
When, if you will think about it,
Not,
like
I think
Like
they're
at
just
the
coming
end,
out.
during the
They're
end,
just
I
coming
think.
just
out. Yeah,
Yeah. Like.
just the end,
just
Yeah.
yeah,
in.
just the
Yeah, yeah,
end.
tail end. Yeah.
Or think of it as a post-war America,
Mm-hmm.
a world that has received so many crashes, a
Yeah.
Cold War,
Mm-hmm.
like the Vietnam War cold shiz. So, which
Mm-hmm.
is why it's also in America that whose faith is now not so grounded in Catholicism to begin with. Like it's
Yeah.
not so grounded in religiosity only to begin with.
Yeah.
And then there are innovations in medicine and medical sciences that are happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, what Friedkin and like the whole cast, apparently, what they tried to do is they actually tried to make a medical horror.
Yeah.
And they ended up making an Exorcist, which was then directed at both the directed again to be at the center point of
Oh,
both
yeah.
science and
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think the
because.
horror. I think from the horror from the
Yeah.
medical standpoint is that, at the medical representative is actually giving up, right?
Hmm.
I think that's the horror, more or less. It's like something as how do I say, something as radical, quote unquote, as science
Hmm.
suddenly having to force its hand to something as undefinable as, say, religion, or
Yeah.
so much vague prophecies
Yeah.
and all that, or something as unquantifiable as faith. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's also sort of horror only for
Yeah.
many people who believe on
yeah.
rationality and everything. That's a horror
So
also for me.
Hmm.
so I think what I'm sorry, I'm not giving anybody the chance to
No.
speak.
No. No. Go. Please. Please go ahead. Say.
So the thing is that what I think they may have tried to do, and what I personally believe the appeal of the movie also lies in, is
Mm-hmm.
that if you think about it, the way the
Mm-hmm.
film proceeds is that they go and say something like, it's like Regan goes through so many medical treatments,
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of like invasive medical procedures and
Hold on.
everything,
Yeah.
and then they
Sorry.
just go
Sorry to
sorry.
interrupt.
And
Sorry to
yeah,
interrupt.
yeah,
Hold on.
Yes. Yes.
Regan is the name of the daughter. The mother's name is Chris, right?
Chris,
Chris.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
So
Continue.
Regan goes through all these invasive medical procedures, and
Mm-hmm.
it's only like after a certain point of time, after all the tests are normal and everything, that they go and say, ki, no, like maybe you
Hmm.
should go and see somebody who does things related to
They say it
psychoanalysis
in a
and
very
maybe
derogatory
exorcism.
sort of way, though. Like it's not very like
Exactly, exactly.
It's
go.
the 70s. It's
So,
the 70s.
so the
Yeah.
idea is that if new technologies and
Mm-hmm.
methods of treatment had been available,
Mm-hmm.
uh, they would keep at it and keep
Mm-hmm.
trying to diagnose the cause
Yeah.
instead of just giving up and going, oh, go ahead and do a
Yeah.
psychoanalysis. Which is why I personally also feel it's very difficult to recreate something like The Exorcist in today's time. Because
Mm-hmm.
medical horror that we see now being made in this day and
Mm-hmm.
age focus on the horror of the technological invention that has gone so far now that it's out of our hand. Like we are making
Yeah.
Frankenstein's. Oh no,
Mhm.
sorry, Victor Frankenstein was the name of the person. So Frankenstein's
Yes.
monsters. Every
Yes.
other,
Yes.
but
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 but I think what you're saying about the Frankenstein thing is definitely true of the machines in this at some point at least. The way he shoots
Yeah,
the
I was
machines
going to
in
bring
this
that up. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
was going to
is
bring that again.
incredibly unnerving.
Again,
Um,
it's a Friedkin thing, right?
it's a
Friedkin
Friedkin thing,
always
yes.
Friedkin
Hmm.
loves details. He
Hmm.
loves dismantling of cars in French Connection. He
Yeah.
loves showing how money is printed into Live and Die in LA. He's going to show an entire opening credit montage on that.
I don't know what Aryan means
What
here.
Aryan
If
is, yeah.
Amartya
But
made a
thank
great
you,
point, Ahendrila made a great point, or I
thank you from
interjected
all
and
three of
made a
us.
great. Thank you,
Thank you from all
Aryan.
three of
We
us. Yeah, that's
all
good.
take it as a compliment.
Yeah, yeah. We make great points. Thank you.
But
So
but then you can also then look at the exorcist as
Mhm.
the frustration of a medical failure. Like think of it
Mhm.
that way.
mm,
Like it's a
Mhm.
mm,
movie that then comes and says that, oh, we are just frustrated as the human race who have progressed so much
Mhm.
that we are unable to diagnose a cause as simple as this. Take it a little further and you will see that the whole cause of this is gender. Because it is a woman who's reaching her puberty in a society where
Yes.
she's being raised in a nuclear family which is headed by a single mother.
Yes.
So there's a lot of context that you can read there. I just had to put that there. Okay, you can go ahead.
I have a question though, and this is a legit question. It's like,
Hmm.
since you were saying that it's also about the American middle class, the
Hmm.
question I have is whether the middle class, quote unquote, is accurately represented. Because if I'm not mistaken, Reagan's mom is a film actress, right?
I think Ahendrila has frozen. Uh,
Yes,
this is
I'm
a
Mila's.
technical failure. Like,
This is a technical failure right now.
yes, yes.
Fantastic work. We are so proud of you.
Ahendrila,
Yes,
yes,
Nadi.
Ahendrila is back, and I have got
Yes.
more
It's
comments.
always
Firstly, okay,
it's sorry, it's
Pixel Baba
always
has
the thing.
clarified who
Ahendrila
has
is
made
only
great
making great
points.
points. Oh yeah, we are chopped liver, right? We are chopped liver, right?
Aryan also clarified this, huh? So yes, just
uh,
to yeah,
yeah, Dhruv, we both are chopped liver. Good to know.
I am
Thank
used
you.
to it, but that's okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Chopped what?
Chopped liver.
What is it?
Sanket is also
In
saying
Bangla
hello,
bhasha,
hello.
it's meant
So,
banet jole peshe asha. Cinema.
Oh,
anyways,
hey,
go
yeah,
ahead.
you to
Where
are.
were we?
Dhruv, maybe
E-
not.
Dhruv,
Yes.
maybe not. Maybe.
Yes,
Good.
sorry,
You
sorry,
actually.
sorry. Let's not digress. Let's not
Yeah.
Yes,
digress. Okay.
yeah.
So can I get to my
But
point, please, before you actually
yes,
digress?
The
yes,
middle
Which you
class
were,
you were talking
yeah,
yes.
about.
which you were
Yeah.
actually going to. So my question is that since you said that it's about the American middle class and they're changing and all that, my question is whether the middle class is actually represented correctly. Because if I'm not mistaken, the Reagan's mom is shown to be a film actress and is
Yeah.
a pretty popular film actress,
Hmm.
you know. And the way they're staying and the house in which they're staying and all that, it shows a world which is at least tad bit more opulent than the traditional American middle class we are used to
Yeah.
see, quote unquote. So I don't know how much of that middle class context we are supposed to represent. I think it's more like the normalcy of it. That is number one. Uh,
Why Karis is
and
middle class,
Karas
no?
could be
Father
taken
Karis.
as the yeah, Karas could be taken as the quote unquote other side of the equation, the person who
It
is
is a
actually
parallel thing
No,
only for
limiting.
the longest
I
time, I think.
completely beg to differ. When I
Mm-hmm.
said middle class American mentality, I meant the American middle class mentality,
Mentality,
not
not the
the American.
actual.
Not the
Yeah, not
financial
the
state.
not the not the
Mm-hmm.
not the family system itself. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you look
Hmm,
at the family system,
hmm,
Chris is somebody. One though she, like if you think about it, it's very clever. They
Mm-hmm.
have given the mother and the daughter very androgynous names. You
Mm-hmm.
will
yes.
not be able to like that. They're very everyman name, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Hmm,
Chris is somebody who wears like tailored pants and clothes and like very man of the house kind of dressing
Mm-hmm.
sense, and
hmm,
all the cooking and the cleaning is also done by a house help who's a
Mm-hmm.
woman in this context.
hmm.
Even a
So
man,
she's
no?
the one who's the
Even
house.
Even a man. The
even a
man
man.
sweeps,
So,
I
Even a
think,
man.
and yeah.
mm.
Yeah. So, which is why here, it's not a traditional American family that they're showing only in the first place. And one
Yeah.
of the gendered issues that then, like one of the gendered readings of this whole aspect is just the fact that uh, this this woman who's a single mother and
Yeah.
runs her own, like has taken the daughter away from the father in pursuit of her
Yes.
own career,
Mhm.
Mm,
is then breaching the norms of the society in such a way that the evil is coming to haunt her,
Mhm.
mm.
right?
Yes.
So that is the thing, like
Mm.
that is one of the gendered
The
readings
gendered.
of the
I
Exorcist.
might push back against that a slight bit by saying that the devil sort of, see, one of the best things about The Exorcist for me at least, and this kind of will loop into whatever you have said, is the total lack of explanation for a lot of
Yes,
things.
they
It
didn't
because
give any reasoning as to why
it
the devil
begins.
chose her.
I don't know how much I can credit the opening of the film, like enough to set the tone of it. I suppose you can. It probably has Orientalist sort of readings to it, right? Considering it's set in Iraq, and are they
Definitely.
using the setting as a way to create, the tension from like unfamiliarity and Eastern culture? I don't.
Exoticism, more or less, yeah. But
I
yes, what you
don't
can
think that's the case simply because start he thoda acha okay. Sorry, Sanket had messaged something. I was looking at that. Sorry, I will go ahead. So I'm saying the opening itself, like the reason I don't think it sort of or it gets away with the slightly Orientalist, which you can read into it. I don't deny that at all. But I feel there's this sense of unease in
Mm.
the Exorcist that begins at a place of, you just don't know from the get go why, who, whom, or whatever. So it's sort of like, uh, is the is the sort of entity coming from the statues? Is it coming from him digging up the statues? Is it because Father Merrin has gone there and actually dug up that he's released the demon? Like, you don't kind of know at all. And then
I
when,
think I have a connection here, and I think
okay,
the connection is from a film standpoint. It's like, remember our criticism with the Sorcerer, that it had four completely disconnected storylines which are connecting slowly,
yeah,
and if you remove them, it wouldn't exactly hurt.
yeah,
Uh, I think you can kind of make a case for the Exorcist here also, except
mm,
except in this case, the movie, when that scene ends, that scene clearly ends in a two shot, right? The shot, it
good,
ends with,
evil,
yeah, good versus evil. It's like it's clearly demarcating that, and even the sun is rising in the middle of it all before when the
yeah,
scene is transitioning. It's already
mm,
doing that. It's already telling you what this movie is about anyway. So
mm,
you can't exactly remove it. But I also think it's becoming like a Friedkin staple. Like, there are ideas there, right? There are
yeah.
ideas there in which he could put in, but there is no feasible way to transition them,
But
coherently in a
I
way. So
think
he's
the
just putting it
feasible
in.
and coherent way of transitioning would have defeated the purpose in a sense. The
Yes,
idea that,
because
because you
hmm,
open in Washington essentially, and you get Georgetown, I think, right? That's the place where it's shot and
yeah,
everything. You open there, and from the beginning, you have these windows open, and like the
hmm,
attic is rattling, and I'm like, wait a second, we didn't get any hint of there being this.
wow. But then again,
It's
but
just
then again, that's also a horror movie trope, right? It's like
it is.
showing something like a no. The horror movie trope which is missing here is like the spirit actually flying in. You're letting the camera, follow through the
Yeah,
sky as the spirit suddenly enters through an open window and suddenly gets in. And
yeah,
then there is a jump scare because the person moves back and sees at the camera. And that's
yeah,
like your opening to a movie. None of that is here,
yeah.
because he's not actually giving you a through line between
Thank
the
God.
scene at Egypt and here. None of that is
For
here.
a moment, I was like, I remember the wrong. Oh my God, this is going to be another Gather border scene.
No,
No,
no, no,
thank
no,
God.
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no,
No, no,
no.
but I
See,
think
this is why I tell you, listen to me fully before interrupting. Thank you.
no,
This
but
is
I
the
think
shocking case.
the interesting thing then that comes is like, because you guys have talked so much about, I think Ahendrila especially mentioned sort of Vietnam and everything, and sort of whatever was going on at
Hmm.
that time, and science, and being between sort of science and religion in some senses, and not knowing. So I think the whole film sort of becomes about uncertainty more than the science religion thing in general. Like, to me, it is about essentially someone trying to find God in a godless universe, if that makes
And
sense.
it's like when you have some sort of an observable defense that you
Hmm.
are showing something supernatural which people read about, but you are seeing it in front of your own eyes. And I think that's why the reality in which the movie is set becomes so important.
Yeah, I think Aryan sort of is summing up a lot of whatever I think me and Amartya have implied in whatever we are saying is that uh, it is about the blank spaces. I feel like, a lot of, I think nowadays, especially, there's the tendency to, explain the origins of the evil and where it's
Yeah,
coming. I mean,
exactly.
even great
Are
filmmakers
this
like,
franchisee? Are this franchisee only has two movies which are trying to originate that
yes,
effect?
yes, yes. So, I mean,
Yeah.
this is so the reason why I think I'm wanting to push back a little bit against the whole gendered thing is that it is as much of an issue for Father Karras in some senses, isn't it? Like, isn't it the sense that, why does the devil know that, or like they know that he sort of, left his mother in a position where she could die alone?
No,
Like,
no, he's
they,
praying. No, no, the devil is preying on his guilt, right? That's
yes,
what he's doing. It doesn't
yes.
matter whether he left his mother somewhere else. If he had done something else, also, if he had done
Hmm.
something else which is causing him so much guilt, the devil
Hmm.
would have preyed on that guilt because it is a very
Hmm.
Christian, because it is a very religious sort of philosophy that
Hmm.
anything evil or the manifestation of evil is always going to prey you when you are at your weakest.
Yeah. Nee, and also, I just wanted to ask Anil, like, towards the end, is there any suggestion that she will go back to that family unit, or is there a suggestion that she will reconcile? Because I don't think there's any suggestion that the ending of the film means a recommunion with the sort of, with their father. Because I think there's
No,
this
it
really
isn't. No, it
offhand
isn't.
gesture she makes to
No,
the
no, I
priest
think she's
where,
good. No, no, I think what I took from it is that when she hugs the priest or anything, she sees that collar, right?
Mhm, yes,
I think, they said that she doesn't remember anything. I think when she sees that collar, I think she remembers the flash of something that a priest had saved.
yes, yeah.
I think that's the only thing she remembers. I don't think she
Hmm,
remembers who saved her because obviously
hmm,
at that point, how would she remember?
hmm.
But
No,
I think
but
that's
it's
the only
a
thing he does.
Yeah, no, but it's an interesting reading in the sense that why it chooses that household essentially. I just think the choosing part for me is such a blank space that I'm like,
Hmm.
No,
okay,
no,
you can
which
fill
is,
it, of course, in
see,
your way.
that's the, no, no, see, the whole
Yeah,
point of doing discourses via different
of
kind of
course.
lens is that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
get
yeah.
to read any part, and being a literature student, I can only like think of the movie as a piece of text,
Hmm.
and then
Of
you are
course.
reading the text in different ways
Yeah,
via different lenses. So, for me, personally, like that's the whole fun of reading
of course, of
whichever
course.
text you are reading via
Yeah,
different
yeah, yeah.
kind of lens. Like
No, no,
I
I'm
can also
I'm
see.
merely doing
I
the
can,
the job of
yeah,
He's
pushing
yeah.
doing
back
the
against an
devil's advocate.
argument
He's
which
doing
I'm
the devil's
hearing.
advocate
That's it.
thing. Yeah.
No, no, I get it. So
Please,
see, if I today sit down and try to
yeah.
think of it from a queer perspective, I
Mhm.
can just be like, okay, maybe Regan, once she was hitting puberty, did not want to conform to the defined sexuality and gender that she was assigned at birth. So maybe it was her own way of inflicting violence upon herself to
There is that
transition.
suggestion, no, I think at
Possible,
one point also. Yeah, there
possible,
is one.
right?
Mild
So
suggestion, yes. Mild
Yes.
suggestion, yes.
Listen,
Very
but
mild.
the point of reading is this only. You build onto those mild
yeah,
suggestions,
No,
And I think,
you
listen.
you build onto those
Listen.
mild
I'm not.
suggestions. So
Listen.
so
Exactly. I'm not arguing against that at all. You understand? It's not even. The context जरूरी है
no, no.
क्या क्या
no, no, that's true.
Completely,
Yeah.
but to bring to Dhruv's point,
Hmm.
so I don't personally think there's any suggestion of reconciliation. I
Hmm.
think the punishment is the bigger point here, and
Sure.
that men are needed to come to
To,
rescue of a woman in this
Yeah.
particular
hmm.
scenario,
Hmm.
which,
Yeah.
however, if you think about it, I think begins way like in the first half of the movie itself. Like the moment she's something that I personally noticed the last time I
Hmm.
watched it is
Hmm.
that you will see how the clothing of Chris changes.
Hmm.
Okay, like when she's first shown in
Mm-hmm.
the film,
Mm-hmm.
it's just that she's wearing like very easy breezy clothes and like easy breezy formals, like semi
Yep.
formals. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember there's a scene where she's wearing then a turtleneck, like
Yes,
she's
yes.
starting to cover up.
Mm-hmm.
And when she has
Mm-hmm.
the discussion with the doctor, she has like a scarf on her head.
Yeah, the
And
scarf
I
on
was
the
like,
head was a
wow,
very
like,
strange. But I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, exactly. And
interesting. Yeah,
it's also not something that conforms to the style of the 1970s so much.
and it goes back
So,
to the whole
which
opening
is
with
why,
the cultural thingy at Iraq. It is set, and I'm like,
ye-
Yes.
I don't know if that's.
exactly.
Again, if people are going to say that it's a propaganda, it's a conservative propaganda to a certain degree, there are readings here which might actually give them a positive affirmation to that regard.
There are,
Yeah,
yeah.
like,
There are.
so which is why one of the ways in which you can read it through a gendered lens is that this woman who has always been at the helm of every affair as the say the person who takes cognizance of everything and steps up for every situation is now having to
Hmm.
bow down to male doctors to have to
Hmm.
explain things to her about her own daughter.
Yeah,
So that is certainly like one of the ways in which her punishment begins. But again, that's
Hmm.
only when you're looking through the gendered lens.
of
Yeah, but
course.
Apart
again, it's
from
all.
that, you
But
can look
again,
at it
it's.
by any lens.
Yeah.
But again, the convenient part is that, and I'm not disparaging you. I know, shocking, right? I'm not disparaging you. But yeah, the convenient part is the convenient part is that the reason why she is forced to ask for help from doctors and all of their field is because a literal supernatural thing has taken over her daughter, which is
Hmm.
unexplainable. I think the film constructs that in such a way that it can cover its own ass from that front. You know that when the reading or the questioning in which you are doing, it can cover its ass on that front. That oh my god, look at the problem. The problem could happen to anybody. And I think that's
Amartya, one
also.
second. Sorry, I've gotten a request,
बांग्ला
so
में कुछ
please.
बोलिए. You really don't want to hear my Bangla right now. Believe me, you really don't.
Okay.
You really don't.
But
Fine.
but have you ever thought about it that maybe the church could use the movie
They have.
as a propaganda to be
They
more
have.
inclusive?
They have used it.
They have. They have.
Which is, I
And I
mean,
personally think like completely like Friedkin and whoever person this is who wrote, I am very bad with names.
William
Blatty,
Peter
Uh,
Blatty.
Blatty. Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, Blatty.
Yes.
So I think both these people were very like, I'm sorry, come on now. But
No,
both
no,
of
Funny.
them
it's
like,
I don't know what
no.
is funnier.
It's funny
I
how
don't
you
know what.
said
Yeah, the
Blatty.
expression is the funnier. Yes.
yeah, sorry, never mind. So the point is, I know some William somebody, like the same names only, just change their titles, man. Never
one
mind.
one
So the
one
point,
agnostic, no, one atheist maybe, and one Catholic, I think.
Yeah, Friedkin
Yeah,
of all people. I'm like, nice,
yeah,
strange
yeah,
choice, but
yeah.
okay.
But that's the whole
no,
tension, no,
but
between two different forces coming
yeah.
together and making a film like this.
And it's also if you think about it, the church did so much shosha around it, my god. But they could have just went ahead and just be like, we are inclusive, like, see, we are giving you doctors
Yes,
who are
yes.
like fathers who are psychologists now for all your
I
problems.
I have one small anecdote I had sort of done in the research where it was supremely funny. Where like there was a reverend called Michael J. Callahan who was like a Jesuit professor at some university, and he liked the film and was like, "I'm not that scared." His student is like, "Well, you're on good terms with God. I'm still sweating it out there." I'm like it's a weird
Nice,
experience.
nice.
And like the papers
Wow.
publicized all this and everything, and I was like, this is like it was a phenomenon. Of course,
The
Exorcist
fact
was
that
at that
popes have a
time, right?
sense of
So
humor, the fact that people in the Catholic churches have senses of humor is pretty good. Nice, good to know.
Amartya sir, आपके पास दो और request आई हैं, so I will show that to you, and then we'll move on to other aspects of the film also. So
हिंदी में कुछ
yes,
बोलिए. नहीं 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 नहीं.
बोल
Sorry.
दिया. Okay, fine. And yes,
इसमें भी प्रोपागेंडा था. इफ यू वांट टू लुक एट इट, मैं विवेक अग्निहोत्री नहीं हूँ, इसलिए मैं वो सब नहीं करने वाला. सॉरी.
इंडिया में सबसे ज्यादा चलता है अपना पॉडकास्ट. अमर्त्य, बैन नहीं होना वहां पे हम लोग को. या
बैन वैसे भी हो रहा है,
एक्चुअली
कोई
यू
इशू
आर द
नहीं है.
लिविंग देयर, व्हाट एम आई सेइंग, तो आपको डायरेक्ट डेंजर
Yeah, why
होएगा.
are you telling of all people?
Anyways, but other aspects, what do you guys think? I mean,
Filmmaking.
Filmmaking, I guess, is the other big sort of thing. Which no, but I mean, we've discussed it in bits and pieces with the things we were talking about, how he shoots the
Sound.
machines and how
I
he.
honestly think. I honestly think something I noticed it this time around is the sound mixing. Which you know, your big criticism is for most movies that sound is used too much.
Yeah.
Dhruv.
Yes. Yes. So
I
this for
think
me is automatically like W, big W on that count.
yeah, big W. And I
Yes.
also think one of the reasons why this movie works so well is because of the sound. I think the sound, it's sparseness of it at times and how it is used. There isn't much use of the theme music, and I
There's
think
three
theme music
instances
was
I
three
noted this time.
instances. Yeah, and
And
there aren't
briefly, like
jump
for
scare
one,
type.
like
Yeah,
10 seconds, that's about it.
yeah. There aren't jump scare type of music or anything. None of that sort.
There's one or two
But
where I was like, this doesn't fit in this movie only. I'm like, why
yeah,
have you put it in this movie? Because it's like such a quiet. I like for me, it's not a quote unquote scary movie. It's a depressingly sad movie. Like
yeah, and it's
throughout, like I
also
just
like,
think it's a very very
and it's
sad
also
film.
like, since he's using background noise for most of the movie, right?
Yeah.
He's already taking the background noise, like birds chirping at the park and all of it. It's again, it's the grounding of it to such a reality. That's why the movie, for a majority of the first act, it's basically a drama. It's us
Hmm.
letting into the family and becoming more and more invested in
Yeah.
Regan and her mother, so
They have a
that
very
when
lovely relationship in the beginning. Like it's very
yeah.
briefly, like it's not like cloying, like a lot of I don't know, like
Yes,
the
yes,
performance is
yes,
also very good. Linda Blair's actually again my child performance. I'm very picky, but Linda Blair's really good in this.
yes. That's
Especially
why.
like
That's why they will.
pre
That's why they will use her more and more in the sequels and completely destroy it. But okay.
we will
Yeah,
not Amartya, we planned this specially so that we can be nice about the Exorcist.
I am
But
being nice about the movie. I'm not being
I
nice
know.
about the franchisee. There is a difference here.
I know,
The
I know. I've
movie
got
is great.
three more requests for Sanket. Yes, we've been on Sanket's show for a couple of times. He wanted a shout out. Sanket,
We have given it a
he's
shout. और कितना shout out
nahi,
चाहिए?
and he does ask us a question, which I guess we can answer this towards the end or now, but
आप let's table this. We will answer
for
it
the end of
finally.
the
Yeah, yeah,
podcast, I think so.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and Sanjita Singh something.
Goop shout out for
Uh,
back. Okay, yeah, yeah. Good point. Good point. Yeah.
okay, I
From the
don't
opposite
know. I
direction,
have
right,
not
Dhruv?
seen Gupt,
From the
so
opposite. Excuse me,
I
what?
haven't seen either.
yeah. Why
You know
is it
why
a
Goop?
necessity to see a Bobby Deol film?
No, the
It
movie
is a
was
Bobby
famous
Deol film,
because
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. The movie
Okay,
was famous because people were coming out of the theaters and telling to the next group who is the killer, so that people would get
okay,
spoiled before getting the movie,
got
going
it.
to see the movie. Yeah,
Mm. No,
yeah.
but I think that's
People
the
are
other
bad.
thing. That's the other thing. This
You
is
are
devoid
ancient.
of.
Like,
Oh wow, thank you. I don't know. I feel like a 90-year-old when you said this. Thank you.
But
yeah, man, you definitely are ancient. Never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah. I'm like Max von Sydow in this movie. He's age
good,
40.
Okay,
good,
He
okay,
good,
looks like
okay, okay.
100
Got it.
years old.
Got it. We got it. We got it. We got it.
good,
Yeah,
good segue. I wanted to segue to the performances only. Actually,
yeah.
Max von Sydow is. I know him from a bunch of Swedish films,
You know him from his
and
arty stuff. You know him from
I
Bergman.
know him from his. Well, he's a Swedish actor, so he did start out there. So
Yes.
yes, but he looks this time when he came back, right? When he comes for the second, when he comes for
He
the
looks
Exorcist, I was
he
like,
looks 100 years old.
he looks like a cadaver, like a living
Yes.
cadaver. I was like, is the lighting making him look even older and even more tired? And I'm like, probably, but I was like, he really looks like he's
Or probably because
old.
of handling so many exorcisms or whatever it is, maybe
I
it takes
suppose.
a toll on his body.
I suppose. Well, he's
If you're
good,
going
but
for
I
a
think Ellen
story kind.
Burstyn is so good as the
Ellen
mother.
Burstyn is yeah.
Um,
Ellen Burstyn is amazing in this movie.
yeah,
Seriously. And Jason Miller. I
he's
think
also very good.
there are very few actors who can define the word intense with I mean, if you think about intense, one of the actors that comes into your mind should be Jason Miller. His intensity and his broodingness, when he's considering and even questioning his faith
Hmm.
and whether he will be capable enough to help priests, help these priests psychologically and all that. All
Yeah.
those moments, and this was his debut feature, I think. So that
Uh,
always was
I think I don't know what
the
to say.
clock stop. Thank you. Great joke. Thank you. Great joke. Yeah.
This is the content we do. Like this is the type of content
If this
you
is the
should listen
this
to
is
us for.
introduction, this is introduction to QID. These are the jokes I get. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you made a good joke yesterday, but you spoiled it by making it on a story. You don't do that there. You do it in like Quid.
Which
Like that's
joke?
the whole thing.
Oh, that joke. Right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got
You
it.
made on a different film, but you did make a good joke. So, anyways,
Yes.
uh, yeah. I mean, you guys have kind of
To
said
all the
whatever I
viewer,
had.
to all the viewers, notice Ahendrila's reaction whenever I'm being praised or
I
whenever I'm
can't
being
hear
praised.
you. I
See, there
can't
you
hear
go.
you.
There you go. There you go. There you
uh,
go. See, there you go.
Maybe I intentionally shut you out. That's also possible. But
No,
never
you
mind.
definitely intentionally shut me out. I know you
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
It's fine.
Okay. We've got it. You've got it. Got it. Got it.
Yes, yes.
Sanjeet is the makes the weirdest comment where he says a little digression when he's talked about Gupt. That's not a digression, but this is a
This
digression.
is the digression.
But
No, but
Owen
in the
Royce Miller,
theatrical
correct.
cut,
He's right.
the
Yeah.
theatrical cut which is there, I saw a theatrical cut of the movie which apparently a fan had preserved it and had tried to recreate the cut from the 70s which had been released in the theaters, because it
Hmm.
was re-released in 2000s, and
Hmm.
then during that time the colors were a bit washed out because of the digital,
Hmm.
transfer and all of it. So
Hmm.
he tried to take it as much close to the theatrical version as possible. What you will understand is that there's a green tint throughout the movie, the color at least. There is a very greenish color in all of it. So it
Hmm.
doesn't make the film look flat, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very
it's not a flat looking film at all.
it's
Yeah.
not a flat looking movie at all, especially in those final sequences when the possession is actually occurring, and she's levitating from the bed
Can
and
I be
everything.
honest? I
Yeah,
can see now why some people think it tips over slightly into silliness. Like at 2, 3
the
points,
last moments,
I was
last
like,
moment.
little bit hogey. Like
Yeah,
again, it's
the power
too
of God, the
subtle a
power of
movie
Jesus
for
Christ, the power of Jesus Christ compels you. Yeah.
a little bit. Hmm.
Yeah, you say that
I
three
really,
times.
I
You
really like that portion. I really like that portion where they like her hands get untied when it's being read out,
Yes,
Yeah.
and he turns back to tie again, and she gets up and then hits.
yes.
That's great. But then
Yeah.
why does she have to lift herself off the bed? Like it's a great
That's
moment in
the
cinema
that's the
which then
shock
gets
moment. No, I
recreated.
No,
guess.
but that
Yeah.
no, but
Yeah.
that is like how do we increase the conflict in the screenplay? Because we need
Yeah.
to rush it up. We need to finish it now.
I
So
almost think that if he had the choice, or if Friedkin had the choice, he would have properly like taken out a lot of the like maybe the levitation. He still would have kept the head turning, because I think he's that much of a he likes his provocation, and he would
yeah,
have
yeah, of
definitely
course.
kept the cross and
You know
cross
what
masturbation
affect?
scene.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
sort of stuff he definitely goes
You
for
know
when
what
he because he's not a
affected
normal
me more during the
individual.
levitation is not the levitation itself. It's the fact that a weeping sound occurs and gashes occur at the knee.
I'm
Like
surprised they didn't.
him
Yeah.
him
I'm
cutting
sur-
there and just immediately
yeah.
focusing back. That was good. Well
I'm
done.
surprised they didn't like mention the fact that by trying to do this they might actually end up killing her. Uh, like by in the process. I think they mentioned coma. I was like, really? She looks like she's going to really not be fine. But
She looks
there's
like
the
yeah.
but then there's like brief moments in that which I really like, is that like it's freezing cold there, right? And then all this stuff is happening, but like one of the priests is like trying to wrap her up in a blanket, and like they show that moment happening, and I was like, I like all that detail, because it's like so like it's not just about the
Again,
levitation and all that, but
yeah.
it's really like they are trying to protect her. And I
Again,
mean,
Friedkin detailing. Again, Friedkin.
yeah,
Little
but I feel
details.
it's
Always about
and
those.
there's something about that connection they make with the Miller character and the Burston character, which I think really gets like like there's this really lovely moment before he goes up and he's killed, and it's a tragic death. The way he sort of
Hmm.
topples out, it's really violent, as it should be. But I think there's this moment where she's like, is she going to die? And he's like it's a close up of him, and he's like, no. And I think that just very much comes from that his own place of, the whole, the loss he has suffered, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
he's that the channeling of Reagan and his mother, as those two people together, sort of really, I thought it's channeled really well throughout the film, uh
Yeah.
in a way where it feels like he's someone who will be willing to sacrifice himself for Reagan's safety. So I think that sort of really did work for me. But 1 second, I've got a couple of comments. I'll just pull them out first. Sanket
Mm.
is saying MVS को इस फिल्म की वजह से बुढ़े रोल्स मिलने लगे थे.
Yeah. Max von Sydow, yeah.
So I mean, he looks really old in this. So
The
yeah,
makeup guy overdid it.
yeah.
He's like, I got the role of a
Second in
lifetime.
the
I mean,
second round in Iraq, he looks like normal, whatever your
yeah,
60.
yeah.
I don't know how old he was. And this is, I don't know if Sanket is trying to do a Jawan reference. If he is, then I'm sorry, I don't appreciate it. But I don't want to think about that movie
We
anymore.
know your hatred for
Uh,
Jawan. It's fine.
yes.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, Dhruv
so
hated Jawan.
yes, I
Yes.
am not.
Quite vehemently, in fact. But okay.
I am a fan of Shah Rukh Khan, though, just to be on the
Yes.
safe side of things. I love
No,
him. Two
that
movies,
I know.
both movies this year, not buying
Hmm.
any of them. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We
And
are not
yes,
going
I
there.
am a snob for not liking both of them.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Put him in a Terrence Malick movie, Dhruv will love that movie, of course.
Of course, I
But
will love
yeah.
it. Anyways, any other thoughts, guys? We are approaching the 1 hour mark, so I'm trying to wrap it up essentially. But yeah, go ahead. Any other thoughts? Yeah,
I mean,
Nothing really
uh,
like. Yeah, go
a
ahead,
lot of
Amartya.
has a lot of
no,
it
no,
has
go
been
ahead, please.
a lot of stuff has been said about The Exorcist. I think from before, like it's one again very canonical. I would definitely suggest. I don't know. I think it's probably watched by a lot of people, but Red Letter Media has a really great
Mhm.
review of it. So I think if you're interested, they capture like the whole
I think
context of it and whatever sort of works and not works. I think.
I think
Yeah.
watching The Exorcist made me realize like uh, horror as a genre itself. There are very specific elements of horror genre that I like. I have
Mhm.
realized that me personally as a viewer, I think from the possession genre itself, unless that genre of horror is very much rooted in the reality in which it is showing, I have
Yeah.
realized that I need the reality, I need the details of it, and I need the characters to acknowledge that the reality in which they are, their
I
actions have
mean,
consequences which mirror that reality.
takes
Try to
itself
understand.
super seriously, right? I think
Yes,
that's the
yes.
big, which I think nowadays you won't even get. Like people will be just
Nowadays,
afraid to take
nowadays
themselves so
it's
seriously.
yeah. Nowadays it's so much self-awareness nonsense that sincerity has gone completely out the window, and that's just sad.
Yeah.
because because all these movies, I don't know, I think most people don't realize this at this point, that you're trying to tap onto a nostalgia by calling out the name of these movies. You're not getting the
Hmm.
core of these movies took itself super seriously. That's why they worked. If
Yeah.
you take them super seriously, they will be okay enough to immerse you in.
Yeah.
That's how
And
it
so
works.
that's why we recommend Exorcist Believer to everyone.
That's
That's
why
our
we
closing
recommend
thoughts.
Exorcist Believer. Don't waste your money on it, please, for the love of God. It will come out within 2 weeks. Do not waste your money on
I
it.
think Universal has wasted the most money on buying the rights,
You
which is 400
They
million.
use 400 million to buy the rights. It's not even making the movie. It's not the movie's budget. 400 million is just they have to make a sequel to make up for that right
Yeah.
money.
Any other thoughts,
That's
guys? I'm going to
yeah.
wrap up with a few questions and comments which we've gotten.
Not
So,
really, just the
no.
fact that so I mean I can't really comment so much on the filmmaking techniques because I'm not well read enough to comment on them.
You can comment.
And
There's no
like
Neither
problem.
are we.
no,
Neither
no,
are we.
I don't understand also in some cases. I really like looking at a movie like I'm reading a text. So
We
Yeah.
don't
you
believe
ask
you,
me like
but
100
okay.
angles, I'll give you.
We don't believe
So
you, but okay.
so that, but apart from that, I just in general think that The Exorcist is such a it's such a great entry into medical horror.
Hmm.
It is a
Mm.
great entry into medical horror because I personally am still captivated by the fact that that whole drilling machine drills like
It was
inside
so
the child,
creepy.
and
I
I'm
mean, they
just like,
show it. I
I
was
know.
like the blood coming out.
I
I
love,
forgot that they show everything. I was like, oh
but
my god,
but
like
again,
this is.
Yeah.
but again, if you love this sort of stuff, na, you will definitely like Friedkin's movies because he is very much focused
I
on
love
details of
all
all these
kind of
things.
horror stuff. Show me blood,
No,
I am
no,
good.
Friedkin has
But
not made
yeah.
Friedkin has not made horror movies. I'm just saying you will love
Oh,
Friedkin's movies because
No, no,
he
but
likes doing
process
with detail.
oriented stuff like
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
He has this knack for like wanting to capture like procedure in a very methodical way, and I think that really, because the scanning of the X-ray thing itself, I thought was like insanely unnerving. So like those things sort of rattled me. Anyways, I've got a lot of comments, so let me just
yeah,
get through them.
yes.
Sanjeet is basically praising Friedkin a fair bit, so I think I'm gonna put that out. Was
yeah,
ingenious and
yeah, yeah.
in many ways a
Of
game
course, yeah,
changer. He's part of like the '70s group of filmmakers, I think, who really did
yeah, yeah.
make sort of whatever American independent cinema was at that time. So I think yes, very much so.
That's a filmmaking
Later
style
day, people
which is
can
not dead,
argue,
honestly. Yeah, that's a filmmaking style
yes.
which is now dead. To be very honest with you, it's like yeah,
Sanjeet expresses his dislike for Spider-Man No Way Home again, essentially, because
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
think
Modern day. I
this is
agree
what he
with you.
means.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Universal wanted to launder money with
Are you Exorcist believer? Yeah.
yes, and I don't know what Aryan means by this. That it was a
My
possession
college also
based
saw me a great entry in the Nikatya
for
possession.
medical. Oh, medical horror because he's
Medical
a
horror. Okay,
physiotherapist.
okay.
Of course, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay,
But
okay,
उसमें
okay.
drilling machines कहाँ से आएंगी? In physiotherapy, you
Wait,
drill. I
I
guess
don't get the context.
acupuncture.
Oh,
He studied medical stuff in undergrad,
To
so
all the
I
new
guess he
viewers, if
relates.
there are any, this is the sort of digressions which usually goes on in the podcast.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you
but
are
we don't.
enjoying this one, join.
Okay, before we digress more, just we'll end with the Sanket's question, which he's asked twice now. So I will.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
Sanket, I am. Yes. Dhruv sir, yes, sorry. आप तीनों की best three horror film कौन सी हैं? Like
Best
as in
three.
each three,
That's a
so
lot.
nine, essentially nine, right?
Ahendrila, you have watched the most horror movies out of all of us. Go ahead.
yeah. Let me just pull out my Twitter thread, please.
Yes.
You put me in a situation like this, I won't be able
You
to
can think I'll name
figure
it
I
out.
have,
quickly so that I'll
yeah,
name it
that's why I
quickly
put you in
because
the
Yeah, yeah.
situation deliberately. That's why I put you in
so
the
one of them
situation
is the
deliberately.
one we are talking about. So that is
Exorcist,
definitely
yeah.
there. I'll type it also in the comments for anyone who's interested. So The Exorcist. Next, I'll go artsy fartsy maybe and go Under the Skin, and the other one I'll go Lake Mungo, just to make art
Hmm.
house film people a little happier, I suppose. You can
Art house film people like Suspiria, of course. The Exorcist, the
Suspiria, the
original.
Dario Argento.
Yeah, yeah, Dario Argento.
Okay,
I like the new one,
Suspiria.
but the original is something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
uh, I'm thinking of a modern day horror. What could a good modern day horror be? Could
Sankhya,
Night of the could
sorry,
Night
say
of the
something.
Hunter qualify?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
What's the Mitchum, right?
Okay, I
Mitchum, yeah.
okay,
Sorry,
I think
Sankeet, sorry. Sanjeet said, I'm surprised Dhruv didn't put The Witch in his list, which is, I said it off my, whatever came off
Top
my
of
head, I
his list.
basically said it. So, like, but yes, The Witch is fantastic. And I'm sad to see where Robert Eggers went afterwards,
Oh come on! Oh come
whatever.
on! The Northman was fine. Come on. Andila,
Anyways,
please go on.
yes, go ahead. You have one left, by
yes,
the way.
No, no, I told three. Andila, it's fine.
Okay. Yes,
okay,
Angela.
Blood and Black Lace, of
Oh,
Mario
this
course,
is the
Baba.
Mario
any day.
Baba.
Mario Baba, yeah.
Yes, any day. Bhuter Bhavishyat, because I think it's
Bengali, yeah.
ingenious. Everybody should watch it. Like
English
they
title?
need to watch it.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
What's the
Future of the
spelling? Can you
Ghost
can
Literal
you type it?
translation. Literal
It's
translation is Ghost
it
Future,
is
basically.
PHOO. I will send it to you. It's
Okay.
BHOOTER.
BHOOTER. Bhuter Bobisha. Yeah.
Yes.
Amartya, you
So
type it.
it's a yeah,
Uh,
it's a Bengali film, but
Okay.
it's
Where is it
fantastic.
available, Ahendrila?
Absolutely love it. Let me quickly look
I
it up.
think it's
Bhuter
on
Bhavishyat should
Hoichoi and
be
on
I
Prime
don't know.
Video.
Or it
Hoichoi
should
and on
just be
Prime
on
Video.
YouTube.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
With subtitles?
With
Uh,
subtitles, I'm sure.
Okay. No,
it
I'm
is
just
on
asking because I'm
Prime
also curious.
apparently.
Okay.
That means it's
Yeah,
on
it's on
Hoichoi.
Hoichoi.
It's
It's
yeah,
on
that means it's on
Sure.
it's
Hoichoi.
Okay.
on
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
So these two certainly, and the other one, something new I'm thinking. Um New horror movie that I really like. See, this is
I
why I
also
hate being put on the spot.
I also didn't mention Dogtooth and like which I think is pretty creepy. But anyways,
I
there's
didn't
lots.
pay, I didn't put the latest stuff I have just seen because it is really that good. I genuinely can't
Oh yeah,
believe I
when
saw
the
a movie
evil
that.
lurks or whatever, right? Is
Yeah,
which
yeah,
you
yeah,
really liked.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
It really is that good. Uh,
But yeah, there's plenty of horror
I
stuff to recommend. I mean, if you guys think this format works, I'm more than happy to do live streams all the time because I don't have to edit after that. So yeah, maybe we can
Yeah,
do. No, tomorrow is too big an episode to do for big as
tomorrow
in like
is
it's
too
too
much. Too
expansive.
much. Yeah, 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 yeah. Tomorrow is too much. Oh,
Yeah. So is it
oh,
this
Cure,
one?
of course, Cure. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yes, this
Okay.
is the one. Oh,
this
it's
is
on
the one.
Hotstar. Oh, great! Like everybody should watch it. It's fantastic.
It's
Thank you, Sanjit.
hilarious. It's
Hmm.
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hilarious.
also, yeah, also
Oh, it's a
Indian
horror
horror movie.
comedy. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I thought it
Also
was like
I
Indian
think
super.
horror
so.
movie.
Yeah.
Indian horror movie which is actually very good is Pizza.
Hmm.
Karthik Subaraj's debut film. Very good.
Okay.
Really very good.
But yes, I mean, there's tons of whatever I think horror stuff.
There's
It's
also that movie which I really like, but of course, Amartya will have to guess now because, yeah, sorry, I
There's
forgot it
also
again.
that movie which I really like.
It's the,
Bro, what are the
it's
movies that come
the
to your
one.
mind when I
No,
say that?
wait.
what?
It's Dumb Chariots again. It's that 1940, 30, 40s ka movie
There
which
are
in
10
which
years ka
the
gap in
woman is
between.
a. Yes, I know. It's the one where the woman is a mermaid. That
Woman
one.
is a mermaid, okay.
Lighthouse.
Or just the Norwegian movie. That's also great, where the woman is a reindeer. That's one
Mhm.
nice.
I have no idea
I
what
will
we are
figure
talking
it out.
about. But
We
anyways, I
really
have
have
got.
no idea.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
continuing this because we're getting comments from people who I know. But like, how is Bhoot the
Yeah,
Haunted Ship
Tumber is great.
Bhoot the
trash?
Haunted Ship is trash. Superbly trash.
Like
Uh,
really bad. I like Vicky
like
Kaushal, but I'm
extremely
sorry,
trash. Yeah.
this is not what. Yeah,
It is the one
Tumbad
where
is
he
amazing.
thinks
Yes.
it's Yuri.
Yes, 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 exactly.
Ah, no, valid.
Tumbad is
Yeah.
amazing. So is actually
I
I
was
didn't
just
mention
rewatching Tumber.
Guillermo del
Nice.
Toro stuff. Pan's Labyrinth is sensationally good, so
Oh,
that counts as
yes,
horror.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. It did not occur to me. Pan's
Yeah,
Labyrinth
it
is a
counts
favorite film.
as a yeah, it counts as a
I
horror
also
essentially.
really like Bhool Bhulaiya Mani Chitra Thazu. Any day.
In the
The
okay, yes.
original, right?
Absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous films.
Yeah.
With the
For a
dumb
second, I
charades
thought
comment, yes,
Ahendrila's being
I think.
sarcastic. Yeah. Pixel Bob, I say for a second. With the dumb charades comment. No, no, Sanjeet, that's the whole
This is
point. This
clearly
is that.
meant to incite you, huh, Amartya?
Yeah, yeah, I know. Listen, Sanket, if you want my full thoughts on Bo is Afraid, I'm going to launch a private podcast between the two of us and I'm going to rant for 2 hours straight. That movie is dog
Also,
shit.
also a movie that everybody should watch. It's a Hindi horror movie, which is Wo
Hmm.
Kaun Thi. It is so good. I only rewatched it and figured out that it's such a great film and
I
has
only know the
amazing music.
song, so yeah.
Exactly. But
Yes.
watch it. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
Watch it
Okay.
once. It's really nice. Like
Hmm.
I figured that the lack of light works in favor of them.
Yeah.
Oh, we did not have a conversation with your offhanded comment, about the exorcist
Yeah,
lighting issue. We did not
yeah,
have that.
The
You should be
Exorcist
yeah.
writing
thankful.
issue.
It's okay. No, no.
Yes,
I personally
yes,
always
he
feel that
thinks so.
Exorcist works for me because there's very
Because in
little
the 70s,
darkness. There's a
apparently,
lot of light.
there wasn't, lighting rigs and equipment, all that stuff, because those were
No,
not
it's
developed yet.
not equivalent to the amount that they have in say today's movies. Is what I.
Yes,
It was in comparison. Shut up. Never mind.
I won't. I won't. But
Ahendrila, you have a supporter in the Woke on 3 club. So
yes, Aryan Vyas loves
Aryan
Bokonthi,
actually,
especially
Aryan, I've realized you actually like all Hindi movies, which is a subject we will discuss someday. Uh,
Aryan
Yes,
is
I've
basically
I've
you and
gotten this
Sanjeev.
film. See, it's called The White Reindeer. It's
Okay.
1952. It's
Okay.
a folk horror
By whom?
in
By
which
whom?
Eric Blomberg.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay. I've
Yeah,
written the
it's a
title.
movie
And
where this woman is part of the witches. Is believed to be a part of the witches, and they like
yeah.
kind of convert themselves into white
Yeah.
reindeers.
Okay. I mean,
Is it?
And that's
it's
it.
Is
essentially, if
it?
we start this recommendation
Yeah.
thing, we can go for like 2-3 hours, to be honest. So
Is this
if
quote
you guys are
unquote is this quote unquote elevated horror? Because if it isn't, I will watch it. I don't like elevated
in
age-restricted horror.
1952, no one was making elevated horror. Huh? It was
Yeah, please
horror.
don't.
Exactly.
Huh.
Yeah. No, remember that movie Hatching, which you saw? You liked Hatching, right? The
I've not
Finnish
seen
movie.
Hatching.
I have also not
Ahendrila,
seen
of
I've
course,
Hatching.
heard of it. It's the
you have
embryo ka
definitely
thing,
seen
no?
Hatching. You are the one who sent me the goddamn link. You have definitely seen Hatching.
No, I've not watched it. Like I have it so I can watch it, but I've never watched it.
She's the one who sent me the link. This is what I go through in a conversation with her.
Okay, we'll
Sanket
watch
says
Hatching,
Hatching is
of
very
course.
good. So
No, it isn't,
Night of the
Sanket.
Living
I'm
Dead is
sorry.
also a favorite.
Night of the
Night of the
Living Dead
Living
is
Dead is
definitely,
fantastic.
yeah.
Fantastic.
And if you're doing
Yeah, yeah.
horror comedy, then
Also
Shaun of the Dead is
the
also
carnival
fantastic.
thing.
So
The
Carnival of
uh,
carnival
Souls.
thing.
Carnival of Souls.
Carnival of
Yes.
Souls.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Carnival of Souls.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Again, we should do this more.
We
I'll
should
be
do this more.
honest.
Yes.
Recommendations.
We'll do horror
Yes.
recommendations. 100% in. We'll do one more for this month. So
We have to.
we'll do like three each. Otherwise, again, we can like just rattle on and like no one will take like notice of how much. But we'll do. It's
Yeah.
live stream only because it's easy.
It's
Uh,
easy. हाँ, easy for
ये
you. No editing.
हाँ ये पिक्सल सर तो बोल रहे हैं राम से ब्रदर्स पे एपिसोड करो आएंगे मैं खुद नहीं मैं
भाई
करूंगा होस्ट उसको
भाई साउथ भाई
बिना देखे
पहले
खुद
पहले लियो का एपिसोड करते हैं फिर ये सब सोचते हैं ठीक है छोड़ो रैम से ब्रदर्स पे
Okay.
एपिसोड
I think
करते
on
हैं
this note we shall end because I think yeah we went 10 minutes over which is fine. I think that's still
Yes.
organized,
And I
more
will go
organized
back
than we
to
are.
the fall of the House of Usher.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
same.
you
Me
guys
too.
are both watching
Me
the
too.
new
Yeah.
Mike Flanagan, right? Yeah. I
Yeah.
want to watch,
Yes.
I want to watch the original Fall of the House Usher.
The 28 one.
Read.
28. John
Download an
Epstein.
ebook and read.
Acha,
Yeah,
from
Dhruv, we were going through short story का phase ना. Read those. That is short story only. Read.
हाँ सर जे हॉरर का एपिसोड तो करना नहीं है ना कल मुझे वो 2 पिक्चर है 3 पिक्चर तो
मुझे क्यों
देखनी
कह
ही है
रहा है मैं मेरा भी तो काम है मुझे भी तो कल परफेक्ट ब्लू देखना है मुझे क्या कह रहा है
I mean that's it.
Okay. Guys,
Anyways,
guys.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
One last recommendation I'll end it on because I don't know why I've not mentioned it because I've seen it like 3-4 times and I love it. I know Amartya doesn't. Is
Of course.
Mother by Darren Aronofsky.
Mother
Yeah.
with an exclamation point.
With an exclamation point.
I love it.
That is
You
nuts.
people
I
are
love
insane.
it.
You people
That
are
movie is
insane.
nuts. And
You
I like
people are
it.
And
insane.
that the ending of the film just made me go boom. Like
It's a proper roller coaster ending of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
film.
You
Yes,
people
Yeah.
are insane. You people are absolutely insane.
that's fine. I think Amartya, you've gotten a lot of that with Khufia recently, so I think we'll go out
Yes.
with this.
I'm okay with the khufia thingy. I'm fine with the
Okay.
khufia thingy.
Don't do it. I
Okay.
haven't watched the movie yet.
No spoiling. You watch it. I mean, I
Nobody is
liked it.
spoiling.
I'm like
spoiling.
10 minutes into it and I did not like it, so I've just
Oh,
kept it.
yikes.
She is like she is in the decision to leave ka phase. Every time
We
I
will
tell her
not
why it is
get
good,
that
every
here.
time I tell her why
Oh my
this is
God,
good,
we
she's
started
like,
again.
do not throw
We are
genre
12 minutes
literacy at
past
me.
the deadline.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are
Let's go back to
ending.
the Fall of
Thank
House
you.
of
We
Usher.
are leaving.
Yeah.
Decision to leave.
Yes.
I guess that's poetic. That's
Decision
what
to
it is.
leave.
Yes.
Decision to leave. We have taken the
How
decision.
do I end this? Okay, yeah, okay. I found the button. Okay.